Welcome to Rare Coins Numix, where the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. The most valuable coins aren't always gold or silver. Sometimes, they're copper. And sometimes, they're sitting quietly in your own pocket. These aren't just old pieces of change, they're pieces of history with hidden stories waiting to be uncovered. Imagine it's early 1974, and you're walking through the halls of the Philadelphia Mint. The air smells faintly of metal and oil, and the rhythmic clang of coin presses echoes all around you. Hundreds of thousands of pennies roll off the machines every day, small, copper discs destined for pockets and piggy banks across America. But that year, something extraordinary was happening behind the scenes. The price of copper was climbing steadily, and the Mint's leadership was worried. Could they find a way to make pennies more cheaply without losing their familiar look and feel? Enter a small, hush-hush experiment, producing pennies with a different metal composition, bronze. Just a handful were made, no more than 4, quietly struck and tucked away before anyone outside a select few even knew they existed. Most people wouldn't notice, they looked almost identical to the regular pennies, just with a slightly different glow under the light. But to those who knew, these bronze pennies were special, a glimpse into a path the Mint almost took but never fully traveled. For years, collectors believed these coins had all been destroyed. The story went that the experiment was a failure and that the Mint melted every single bronze penny back down into raw metal. But then, something incredible happened. In the early 1990s, rumors began to circulate. Whispers of 4 bronze pennies that had somehow escaped destruction, hidden away by Mint employees or lucky collectors. At first, these were dismissed as urban legend, too good to be true. Then, in 2011, the story took a thrilling turn. One of those bronze pennies appeared at a major auction. Imagine the excitement as collectors and experts leaned in, eyes wide with disbelief. The auctioneer's hammer came down at $8,600, confirming that these mythical coins were very real and incredibly valuable. Since then, these coins have become the holy grail for penny collectors, so rare, so mysterious, and so steeped in history that owning one is like holding a secret piece of America's past. Let's pause and imagine holding one yourself. The weight of the coin in your hand, slightly different from a normal penny. The warm bronze glow shimmering beneath the surface. The finely detailed profile of Abraham Lincoln, still looking out from the coin's face after more than 6 decades. Each of the 4 surviving pennies carries its own story. One was kept by a Mint employee named Anthony, who treasured it as a personal memento before eventually selling it to a private collector. Another was authenticated thanks to the dogged detective work of a passionate numismatist named Steve, who pieced together the coin's history from old Mint records and eyewitness accounts. Together, these stories weave a rich tapestry of mystery, human curiosity, and the unexpected twists that sometimes come with collecting coins. Now, if you look at a standard 1974 penny, it's a common sight. Billions were made. You might even find one in your pocket right now. But the bronze pennies? They're a whisper of a road not taken, a what if frozen in metal. Over the years, these coins have sporadically appeared in auctions and private sales, each time stirring up excitement and speculation. Some stories suggest one sold privately for hundreds of thousands of dollars, though official records only confirm the 2011 auction price. And that's what makes this coin so captivating, the blend of fact, legend, and possibility. Experts have examined the coin's metal composition, confirming that the bronze alloy was a deliberate choice for testing, made of 95% copper, mixed with tin and zinc, unlike the usual copper-zinc blend. These subtle differences in metal give the pennies a unique color and feel. Under the right light, they shine with a soft, warm hue, almost like a tiny bronze medal tucked into your palm. Collectors prize these coins not just for their rarity but for the story they tell, of innovation, risk, and the quiet moments in history when small changes hint at bigger possibilities. Over the decades, many collectors have chased these pennies, hoping to find one tucked away in a forgotten drawer or buried in a dusty coin album. But with only 4 known to exist, finding one is like searching for a needle in a haystack. Grading experts have certified these pennies as mint state, with some reaching MS 67, indicating near-perfect condition, remarkable for coins over 50 years old. So what is a coin like this truly worth? As of today, the value of one of these extraordinary bronze 1974 pennies is estimated at an astounding $79,000. That number isn't just a reflection of rarity or metal, it's a tribute to the coin's journey, its secret history, and the passionate collectors who have kept its story alive. From the quiet hum of the mint presses in Philadelphia to the excitement of auction rooms and the curious eyes of collectors around the world, this tiny penny has traveled a remarkable path. It reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest stories. And maybe, just maybe, if you ever stumble across a penny that looks a little different, take a closer look. You might be holding a legend worth more than you ever imagined. The next rare penny could be hiding in plain sight. Not in a museum or a private vault, but in the places you'd never expect, your change jar, a desk drawer, or inside an old coin roll gathering dust on a shelf. To most people, it's just another copper coin. 1 cent. But in truth, it could be something far more valuable, and far more fascinating. In 1978, the world was in motion. America was adjusting to new political realities, economic pressure, and cultural shifts. Life kept moving, and so did the coins, billions of them, produced by the United States Mint to keep commerce flowing. At the Denver Mint, machines operated day and night, producing hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins bearing the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln. Each of these coins carried a small D beneath the date, denoting the Denver Mint. The process was fast, repetitive, mechanical, designed to be perfect. But machines aren't perfect. Not always. Now and then, a tiny variation would occur, a misstep in the process, so subtle it would pass unnoticed by inspectors and machines alike. Sometimes it's a double die. Sometimes it's a repunched mint mark. Sometimes, it's both. These small deviations, when discovered, transform an ordinary coin into something of real value. And that's exactly what happened with one very special 1978 D penny. At first glance, it looked like any other. But a closer inspection revealed something remarkable. The D mint mark had been stamped twice, a repunched mint mark, clearly visible under magnification. Slightly offset, precise, and unmistakable. Not a defect from damage or wear, but a rare minting variety. What makes this story even more extraordinary is that this particular repunched mint mark was previously unknown. It didn't appear in coin reference guides or collector databases. It was undocumented. A true discovery, the first and, so far, the only known example of its kind from that year. The coin had managed to stay hidden for decades, passed from hand to hand in everyday transactions. Through pockets, purses, drawers, and jars, living its quiet life as a 1-cent piece. Until a curious eye spotted something unusual and looked closer. That one glance changed everything. Its condition only added to the rarity. This wasn't a worn coin pulled from circulation, it had been preserved in near pristine state. Smooth surfaces. Crisp details. Original mint luster still glowing on both sides. After careful grading, it was certified as a high-quality mint state coin, nearly flawless. That combination, a unique mint mark variety and exceptional condition, is what elevates a coin into the realm of the rarest and most desirable. Collectors spend years searching for coins like this. Not for beauty alone, but for the story they tell. For the fingerprint of history left behind in metal. This penny became a symbol, a reminder that even in a modern age, treasures can still be found. That the next great numismatic discovery doesn't need to be ancient or made of gold. Sometimes, it's a copper coin from the late 20th century, hiding in the most unexpected place. And here's what makes this discovery truly special, its rarity is not just in the repunched mint mark. It's in the fact that no other example like it has been found. It stands alone, a unique survivor of an unnoticed error, an artifact of a split-second misalignment that escaped detection and slipped into circulation. For collectors, this is the kind of find that comes along once in a lifetime. It adds new knowledge to the hobby, opens the door to new possibilities, and reminds everyone that vigilance, curiosity, and patience still matter. Imagine how many hands this coin passed through before it was discovered. How many chances there were to notice it, but didn't. That's the nature of numismatics. It rewards those who look closer, who take the time to see what others miss. Today, the coin is secured and recognized as a true rarity, a blend of historical accident and preservation. And after professional evaluation, experts determined its significance and assigned it an official coin value. Not for what it can buy, but for what it represents. That 1978 D. Lincoln penny, the only known example with that specific repunched mint mark in such high grade, holds a current coin value of $72,000. Yes, a single cent. Now worth $72,000. Not because of the metal. Not because of age. But because of its rarity, condition, and the fascinating story behind it. And here's the most exciting part, this might not be the only one. Somewhere out there, another could still be hiding. In a jar. In a roll. In a forgotten coin album. Unrecognized. Waiting. And it could be found by anyone, a seasoned collector or someone simply curious enough to look. So next time you get change at the store or open a roll of coins, don't rush. Take a moment. Examine each coin. Look for the small details, the ones others overlook. Because in the world of coin collecting, even something as small as a penny can carry a hidden secret. And sometimes, that secret turns 1 cent into something truly priceless. Moving to another rare and valuable 1-cent coin, we arrive at an unassuming yet historically intriguing piece, the 1981 D. Lincoln cent. On the surface, it looks like any other penny from its era. It's small, coppery, worn down by years of passing through hands, pockets, vending machines, and coin jars. But for those who take the time to really look, this little coin carries far more weight than its size or face value suggests. In 1981, the United States was undergoing change. Economically, it was a turbulent period. Interest rates were high, inflation was rising, and families across the country were adjusting to a new administration and a rapidly evolving world. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint continued its work, striking coins by the billions, including the iconic Lincoln cent. That year marked the end of an era in a subtle but important way. By 1982, the composition of the penny would change from 95% copper to mostly zinc. So the 1981 issues, including those minted in Denver, were among the last true copper-based 1-cent coins. To collectors, that adds a layer of historical significance. But one specific coin from that year stands out, not for its metal, but for something far rarer. This particular 1981 D penny held a quiet secret for years. Its uniqueness didn't come from its color or shape, but from something much smaller, the D mint mark stamped just beneath the date. Upon closer inspection, it became clear that the mint mark wasn't like the others. It had been struck twice, subtly, but unmistakably. A repunched mint mark. Crisp and visible, with clear doubling that indicated it had been applied more than once during the minting process. Such errors are rare, especially when they're clean, bold, and undocumented. And in this case, it wasn't just a common RPM variety already listed in the guides. It was different. Unique. A version of the 1981 D repunched mint mark never seen before by collectors or grading services. That changed everything. Finding a new die variety is a moment of true discovery in the numismatic world. It's not simply about value, it's about contribution. The person who discovered this coin didn't just add something rare to their collection, they added something new to the coin collecting universe. This wasn't another nice condition coin, it was a newly recognized piece of minting history. But rarity alone doesn't tell the whole story. The condition of this 1981 D penny took its status to another level. Unlike the many coins that have seen decades of wear, this one had been preserved almost perfectly. It showed full detail in Lincoln's portrait, a strong strike, and shimmering luster still dancing across its surface after more than 40 years. Under magnification, the fine lines and edges were sharp, the field smooth and untouched. It was awarded a mint state grade, well above average, and extremely difficult to find for coins from that year. Rarity and condition, when those two traits come together in one coin, the result is something extraordinary. Something that turns an everyday object into a numismatic marvel. Collectors dream of these finds. They sift through rolls, they search change, they study varieties, hoping that one day, they'll come across something that changes everything. And that's exactly what this 1981 D penny represents. A coin that seemed completely ordinary. A coin that nearly slipped into obscurity. And yet, it turned out to be one of the rarest examples ever discovered from that year and mint. After authentication and expert analysis, the coin's significance was cemented. A newly confirmed mintmark variety. The only one of its kind known. And preserved in such fine condition, it became a cornerstone example for modern Lincoln cent collectors. Today, the coin is recognized not just for its unique die variety, but for its contribution to the hobby itself. It's a reminder of how rich and unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. How even the smallest details can hold immense value. How stories are written not only in history books, but in the metal of the coins we handle every day. And now, after evaluation by top experts and inclusion in professional records, the coin's value has been established, based on rarity, condition, and demand from collectors. That unassuming little 1981 D Lincoln cent, with a mint mark struck twice and preserved in exceptional quality, carries a coin value of $66,000. And the best part? This might not be the only one. Another could be waiting, tucked inside a forgotten roll, sitting in an old desk drawer, hiding among pennies that seem like nothing more than spare change. Because the truth is, not every treasure shines on the surface. Some are quiet. Some are overlooked. But for those who know where to look, and what to look for, even a single penny can hold a secret that changes everything. And with that, we move closer to the heart of what collecting is all about, not chasing gold or silver, but discovering stories hidden in plain sight. If you thought that was impressive, you'll want to hang on. The next coin might just change what you think about everyday pocket change. Stick around, there's more treasure waiting. Moving along our journey through rare and valuable 1-cent coins, we come to a modern-looking penny, one you might not think twice about if it passed through your hands. It's copper-coated, bears Lincoln's familiar profile, and looks just like the billions of others made that year. But it's not quite the same. This is the 1997 1-cent coin with no mint mark. And while that might sound simple, this ordinary penny holds a secret, one that's turned it into one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents among collectors. Let's go back for a moment. The year is 1997. The economy is booming, the stock market is surging, and Americans are gearing up for a new millennium. Technology is moving fast. But one thing remains steady: coins keep flowing. At the U.S. Mint, production is as strong as ever. The Philadelphia and Denver mints are churning out cents at massive volume. And like always, pennies from Philadelphia are issued without a mint mark. That's where it begins. The absence of a mint mark is perfectly normal for Philadelphia-issued coins. So when someone sees a 1997 penny with no letter beneath the date, they usually think nothing of it. But this particular 1997 no mint mark penny is anything but ordinary. And what makes it truly fascinating is how its rarity comes not from what's there, but from what's missing. A small group of 1997 pennies, those struck at the Philadelphia Mint, were produced using improperly prepared dies. As a result, the detail around Lincoln's bust, the lettering, and even parts of the reverse design appear unusually sharp, or in some cases, slightly doubled or misaligned. In particular, a certain variety of the no mint mark penny from that year exhibits strong doubling on the date and letters of the word Liberty. It's subtle, but unmistakable once you see it. This isn't damage or wear. It's not the result of circulation or environmental effects. It's a mint error, specifically, a variety that emerged from a worn or misaligned die. In other words, the machines responsible for stamping the blank coin flans weren't operating exactly as they should. But somehow, These flawed coins escaped inspection and were released into the wild. Most people spent them without a second thought. But a few collectors, with sharp eyes and even sharper instincts, noticed something different. They examined the coins more closely, first with the naked eye, then under magnification, and realized that what they were holding wasn't just another penny. It was a mistake. A rare one. Eventually, the coin's unusual features were documented and verified by professional grading services. Numismatists confirmed that this wasn't a one-off error from post-mint damage. It was an authentic, die-related mint error. And while a handful have been found, they remain incredibly rare, especially in high grades. What makes this 1997 no-mint mark penny so special isn't just the error itself, but the condition in which it was preserved. One known example showed brilliant, original mint luster, with no signs of handling or environmental damage. It retained every fine detail of the original design, with the doubling clearly visible to trained eyes. Graded as a high mint state coin, it quickly gained attention. Collectors value rarity, but when that rarity comes in near flawless condition, the coin becomes more than collectible, it becomes legendary. Think about it. In 1997, over 4 billion pennies were produced. And yet, among all those coins, only a tiny number showed this rare error. Of those, only a handful were discovered in excellent condition. It's like finding a perfect needle in an enormous haystack. And the value? It's not about metal content or age. It's about scarcity. About eye appeal. About the story the coin tells, the process that went slightly off course, the moment in time it captures, and the incredible odds of it surviving untouched. This coin, the 1997 no-mint mark penny with the verified doubling variety and near-perfect preservation, has been reviewed, graded, and authenticated. Its details confirmed by experts. Its story shared among collectors. And now, its place in modern numismatic history is secured. As of today, its coin value stands at a remarkable $40,000. Yes, $40,000 for a penny. A coin many people overlooked. A coin someone could have spent on a soda, lost in their car, or dropped on the sidewalk without a second glance. But instead, it was discovered, recognized, and preserved. This is the thrill of coin collecting. The treasure isn't always gold or silver. Sometimes, it's copper-plated zinc. Sometimes, it's something you've seen 100 times before, until you look closer. Because every coin holds potential. Every one could tell a story. And every so often, one turns out to be something extraordinary. And just like the others we've seen today, this 1997 no-mint mark penny reminds us of one powerful truth: valuable coins are still out there. Not behind glass in a museum, but in everyday places. Waiting to be found. Waiting for someone to notice. If you enjoyed this story and love discovering the hidden value in everyday coins, make sure to give this video a like. It really helps more collectors like you find it. Leave a comment below and tell me if you've ever come across an unusual penny in your own pocket change. You never know, you might be holding on to something valuable right now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss out on more rare coin discoveries, collector tips, and surprising values hiding in plain sight. Share this video with a fellow collector or a friend who might be sitting on a hidden treasure without even realizing it.